Okay, the recording has started, and Austin, if you could help Jennifer down there, she may need to run her audio wizard. All right, guys, so welcome to ECI 514's first meeting. My name is Lisa Hervey. You see me as LG Hines in the participant list, but indeed that is me. That is my maiden name. And NC State hasn't figured out how to let us put in our actual names when we register for these virtual sessions. So most of you have already taken advantage of running the audio wizard setup. The first couple slides, I really just want to get an idea of how this is a virtual space, and over here are some virtual tools. So the first thing I always like to do is sort of just play. This is always kind of fun. So go ahead and grab any of these tools, stickers, markers, and go ahead and write on our whiteboard and have fun. So go ahead and grab a tool and write on our whiteboard. Or grab a smiley face. Have fun. I love how a group of graduate students turn into kindergartners instantly. It's awesome. All right, awesome fun. Yeah. So I do that just because I just want you to know like some of the affordances of interfaces like this. I think it's Dim, I want to say, is a free one online. Blackboard Collaborate. I think you can get privileges to have one of these meetings, but any kind of, this is basically a virtual white space, so very fun. Okay, so let's move on with our meeting. So we want to always begin with the end in mind, and of course I have some deliverables and want to make sure that I make sure we kind of meet some targets for this meeting. So first of all, I want to make sure we have a clear understanding of the goals and deliverables for ECI 541. Of course, I want to provide a brief overview of the course, not that I think many of you need a lot of help with that. And then I want to just make sure that we're all clear about how we're going to be collaborating on some of your projects in this course. So before moving on, go ahead and give me an emoticon to let me know that you're good to go, and here we go. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you, Karma. Thank you, Caroline. Thank you, Paige, so forth and so on. All right, so here we go. So the first thing is I don't think a lot of you have a lot of troubles, but I always throw the slide just in case. Just as a reminder, we obviously use the check mark. You can raise your hand if you want to take the mic. We'll talk about that in a minute. If you want to take the mic, you'd push the talk button. Emoticons are right there. We've already played with the tools, and then of course our chat box is down there. So you guys seem pretty well established with all this. So I'm going to keep going. So there's going to be really two ways for you to participate in this meeting tonight. You are more than welcome, if you have a mic, that if you have a question or concern at any time, anytime, just go ahead and raise your hand, and then that'll give me an indicator that you've raised your hand, and then I'll stop where I am, and I'll go ahead and turn the mic over to you. You would then grab the talk button, click it, say your spiel, and then unclick it, and then I'll respond in kind. Now that's only if those of you that are ready and want to use your mic, that's great, but otherwise you can also get your questions answered, your concerns, or whatever it is that you want to talk about. You can put those into the chat window and we will address those as well. So those are really the two ways that you can participate tonight, and I highly encourage you to participate because I bet that if you have a question, somebody else in this class has the same questions, and no questions, all questions are good questions, because if you don't know, you don't know, and that's the purpose of this meeting, okay? Oops. So I know that not all of you are necessarily native to Wake County. So if you were born in North Carolina, and I apologize for those of you that weren't, maybe you can mark outside of the map. Go ahead and grab your draw tool or your pen tool, it doesn't matter. Go ahead and pick a color and then put a dot from where you were born if you were actually born in North Carolina. I'm going to mark over here because I was kind of born over way over here in Tennessee. So I'm going to go over there. So go ahead and put a mark on the board, just trying to get an idea of who's native to North Carolina and who's not. Haha. I love the big black mark way up there. Awesome. Was it West Virginia? I hope it's West Virginia. Go Mountaineers. Wisconsin. Am I getting a big Wisconsin? Woohoo! All right. I went to school in Michigan. Got it. All right. So we got a few of you all around here. Oh, we got some Northeasterners. Got some guys out in the mountains. Got some Wilson County. All right. So that's all great. Just again, just another little activity just to show you some of the affordance. I got some Texas. Love it. Somebody else is writing something. We'll see what they're going to write. So anyway, again, just for fun, just to far away. Awesome. You guys got humor. I'm loving the humor. Um, so again, just to see some New York City up here, just to show you what Illuminate, I gotta stop saying Illuminate. Blackboard Collaborate. They just switched it this summer, so I still keep saying Illuminate. Okay. All right, so that's all fun and well, but let's get down to why you're all here and so that we can get you on your way in a timely manner. So I am going to address these kind of level 1 targeted outcomes, and then I'll stop in between each of them to make sure and ask for questions. And so that will be the time that you can either raise your hand, you can raise your hand anytime, or you would chat in the chat box, and so I will give you some wait time for that. So the first thing I want to start going with is just the basic course flow. We had a little bit of a disrupted start. Normally I would have run more of an orientation week the first week, but we weren't really given that luxury. So I went ahead and did start the course on a Wednesday, and so our course runs from a Wednesday to a Tuesday. I do that for a couple of reasons. One, I just think it's important that you do have some time on the weekend. I often teach classes to in-service teachers, so I want to make sure that they actually have time to get their work done. I know that some of you have family and kids and all of those kinds of things, so I want to give you that extra little bit of time outside of the work week to get your work done. So the basic way, so are there any questions about basic course flow? And that's pretty much how it runs every week, Wednesday to Tuesday, Wednesday to Tuesday. Raise your hand if you have any questions about the course flow or chat in the chat box. Okay, I didn't think there would be a lot of controversy there. You guys are pretty, seem like a pretty savvy group, so I'm not as worried. Are you also, okay, so Matthew, you have a question. You said you mentioned you're recording these sessions. Are you also posting them afterward? No, I'm just going to keep them to myself, and I'm not going to show it to you guys. No, I'll actually probably download it tonight, and I'll put it up in the social forum. So be looking for a social forum post in the middle of our course, and I'll just say virtual meeting 1, and then you'll find the link there. I will probably put it up to YouTube, just makes my life easier. So yes, I will be posting it. I won't just be keeping it for my secret viewing. Good question though. Okay, so let's talk about due dates. If you guys are all clear about the basic flow of the course, and the due dates also then make sense. Basically, you have 1 or 2 assignments each week. If it's your first assignment, which is normally your forum, then that's due on Sunday. Your original post is due no later than Sunday of that given week. So we start a new session tomorrow. So your week 2 post will be on constructivism is due by next Sunday by midnight. Now that doesn't mean you can't post early. You're welcome to post early. You're also welcome to reply to anyone who gets in there and posts early. So the idea would be, is what I don't want to happen is for you to come in on Sunday or Saturday, you come in, you do your post, you reply to 2 people, and then you're out. And we never see you before that, and we never see you after that. Healthy communities post early and they post often, so you're welcome to post early and you're welcome to reply all during the week. The only thing that you must do is make sure you have completed those replies by the end of the session, which is the Tuesday. So that sort of takes care of questions number one. Or sorry, assignments number one. For your assignment number two, I do tend to want to give you a little extra time to get that done. So those tend to be due on the Tuesday of the session or the last day of the session by midnight. Give me, if you, I'm going to go ahead and let you ask me any questions in the chat box, or raise your hand if you have any questions about due dates. All right, no worries. Sometimes I do that. I get ahead of myself. So I'm glad I asked your question. We're just waiting on one more person who I can see. When are the due dates for discussion leaders? I know where topics were signed up, but I didn't see a date. Actually, that's a great question. And Kathy, you're gonna kill me. I can't think of your name. I have to look at my spreadsheet. Go ahead and type your name, first name in there for me. Thank you, Megan. I knew it was an M. I have so many Megans and Bisties. Actually, that's not true. If you look in the discussion leaders assignment, it says that your resources, your questions, all of those things are due the Wednesday before the week of your session. So really so a week ahead of time are they due. And so that is in there, and I also know that's in there because I also said and or earlier. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in discussion leaders when I get to that topic, but that is a good question. But basically, the soon as you can get me those questions, your resources, then I can put those up into the forum, and then we're going to talk about how you're going to share your resources in a minute. So definitely check out the discussion leader assignment. All of that information is there. It's linked in week 1. And Megan, I can see your type in, so go ahead and continue your question. Well, if you sign up, so the basic way you have to look at it is if you have to go and figure out which week, you have to go figure out which week your topic is in. So I don't know them by the top of my brain, but I'm pretty sure, Megan, you signed up for Principles of Learning, which I believe is topic 3. So you just have to quickly go through and find which ones they are and then work backwards on your calendar. That makes sense. Okay. Any other questions about due dates before I kind of move on to, that was a really good segue into our next topic, but I just want to make sure there are any more questions about due dates. Okay, so thank you, Megan, for segueing right into our thing. Let's do talk about discussion leaders. One of the things you will have noticed, maybe you haven't, but you can go back and look at that sign-up sheet. You can click on the sign-up sheet, even if you've already clicked on it, to see who is in your grouping. Not only that, I have taken the liberty of copying and pasting your pictures and your names and put them into your corresponding forum. So those are already there. They did say to be determined, and I've now put you all into your corresponding slot. What's expected of the discussion leaders, and those of you that signed up for week 1, you really need to get together, sorry, week 3, apologize. You really need to get together pretty fast. The idea here is I want you to go ahead and work ahead a little bit. Your group would have to work ahead and look at the learning materials that are already provided as part of this course. Then you are going to have to find at least 1 to 2 peer-reviewed journals, and that's where you can go and look at the NC State online library, and if anybody needs help with that, they can email me and I'm happy to help you with that. But we would be looking at like Journal of Computing and Education, or there's JECR, or any of the ACE journals. So if you have any questions or concerns about your journal being peer reviewed, please send me the title of your journal and we can suss that out. So you're basically supposed to come up with at least 1 more reading that's peer reviewed, journal-like article, research-like article that's connected to your topic. In addition, you're also supposed to find some additional multimedia resources. Is there a blog, an additional blog out there? Is there a video out there? Is there a website out there that you believe brings more information to our collective community of learners? So you would share those resources. And how you would actually share those resources is one of your members of your team, and only one of them, would need to make their forum post, and you would go ahead and either upload that resource, that journal, as an attachment, and then of course you could just provide the links to the multimedia resources that you find. So that sort of takes care of like the tangible things that you have to share with people. But the most important piece is that once you look at all the learning materials that I've provided and the former instructor of this class has provided, as well as your new resources, you are going to be asked to actually generate the forum questions for that week. So you're going to kind of have to synthesize the material, elevate it, and then ask questions that really help your classmates dig into the material, as well as begin to think about what are the learning and teaching applications. So at least one of your questions should always be about, so what? What does this mean in terms of education? So I do want there to be a question that actually helps everyone begin to think about, how will I use this specific topic when I actually find myself in the classroom, or if I'm currently in the classroom. Again, I highly suggest that you do that sooner than later, because if you wait until the week before your actual assigned week, then you are kind of holding up everybody if they decided they wanted to work ahead. So the sooner you can get your questions to me, the better off I think it is for everyone, and particularly those of you that signed up for week 3, you definitely have some work in the next week or so to get done. So that is, in a nutshell, what I'm looking for in terms of discussion leaders. All of that is written out in the discussion leader activity. I will now pause, raise your hand if you'd like to take the mic, or please type in the chat box if you have a question about your discussion leader assignment. Okay, all of you give me an emoticon so I know that you're all still there and breathing. Still looking for Michelle, Morgan, Matthew. Okay, Matthew came in. Okay, just making sure. You guys are a quiet bunch. All right. Okay, so let's move on then. All right, so again, that sort of does really bring us right into forums. Let's talk about forums. Forums are the one opportunity that you have to, at a graduate level, that includes APA and appropriate grammar and usage, to demonstrate your new learning based on the learning materials assigned for that week. So I want to just make sure that that's clear. I also want to make sure that we are, posting early, that we're replying to people in different days, and that basically we're revisiting the forum, almost every time if you have an opportunity while you're online, you should be checking into the course and checking into the current forum. One of the things I do want to address, I noticed that a lot of you may or may not be in service. I know I have some MATs here, and I just want to go ahead and put an elephant out of the room. I often encounter that sometimes people in forums don't often want to start their reply with, well, I've never been in a classroom. Well, I get that. But at the same time, we are all you all are pursuing some sort of teaching degree or something that intersects with the process of learning and teaching. So if you are currently teaching, then you can obviously speak to how the new learning applies to what you're already doing. But I do need you to take a leap of faith and be a little of a risk taker and be thinking about how you might apply this in your future intersection with learning and teaching, whatever that may be. I understand that some of you may not go in the classroom, but then you'd be working with teachers, you might be working with schools and districts, or whatever that is. I do want you to address those in the forums. When I talk about APA, I'm just saying that if we do read a research article and you refer to it, please use, in-text citation. That would just be like the name and the year, and then if you use a specific quote, then it would be the name, the year, and the page number. I'm going to ask Austina if she could Google APA AL. There's a great APA site out there that I literally got me through my dissertation. Now I do have a copy of APA 6th edition in terms of citations, so you may want to check that out, and if she's not able to find it, I will Google it in a minute and put it in there. Now, I'm not saying that you have to put a reference list at the bottom of your form, because I'm going to go ahead and assume that you're going to be referring to our learning materials, but if we read an article by Spires and Watson and you paraphrase or synthesize that material, then you need to reference that material so that I know that you actually are looking at those materials. That also includes any videos, blogs, anything else. Please be sure to mention the learning materials so that I know that you have viewed them. So that's very important. It's a pretty big part of your grade, so that's why I bring that up. So I'm going to pause now. Thank you, Austina, for grabbing that site. And again, I'm not trying to scare you with APA, but I just want to make sure that we are elevating our work to graduate level work. And yes, we must use APA. The APA is the adopted citation by the College of Ed at NC State. So there's no choice there. I'm sorry for those of you that are very expert at MLA. So I'll pause now for any questions, concerns, or plain venting that you want to give me by raising your hand or chat or typing in the chat box. Okay, thank you, Michelle. I appreciate that positive comment. You guys can say good things too. You guys are really quiet. Come on now. Okay, one last thing I want to say about forums before I move on. Okay, I promise you, I will never, ever, 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 ever steer you wrong. But I encourage you, I beg you, please, 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 please create your original responses to the forums in a Google Doc. That way you can walk away, you can edit, get it into perfect shape in a Google Doc first, then do all of your editing there, because there's only a 5-minute timer on editing and I cannot control that. And so please go ahead, just like we would ask kids to write a rough draft. We wouldn't ask them to write the rough draft in the actual forum WYSIWYG. You want to write it in a Google Doc, get it to where you need it to be, go away and go to the mall and come back and reread it later, and then copy and paste. You will not lose your work. Yes, people are already coming in there. Thank you, Caroline. If you try to write your original response in the forum WYSIWYG, what you see is what you get, or the editing box, and you go to save and it times out, back button does not help you, okay? Please, I'm begging you, and I'm also begging you not to do it in Word, because if you do it in Word, some of the versions of Word will bring a bunch of HTML over and your post will look like a hot mess. I'm begging you. Google Docs, people. Google Docs are your friend. Okay, I'm done with that. Moving on. I'm stepping off my soapbox. Okay. Now let's talk about, I just want to elevate for you. I'm sure that most of you have cruised through the course and just want to make sure that you do realize that you have an extra assignment. The only weeks that you have like an extra thing that is going to require a little bit of preparing for it are weeks 2, 4, 6, and 8. So know that you can go ahead and look at those assignments. They're usually going to be your 2.2 or your 4.2 or the second assignment in each of your weeks. You want to go ahead and start looking at those ahead of time. Those are not generally something that you could probably do it all in one week, but I just want to make sure that you're aware that those are going to take a little extra time, plus you have a forum that week. So I just want to make sure we're clear on that. Give me a check mark if we're all good with that. All right, awesome. And okay, so here we go. Here's me being really tired. Do you see my next topic, which is capstone modules and integrated lesson? Not for you guys. Sorry, I thought for sure I had changed that. You guys have a capstone video that you guys are going to be doing, and it's basically a tutorial. The due dates are in there. I think it's due on December the 5th. And basically, you are going to be creating a video tutorial that you would be creating for senior citizens. And yes, that is purposeful. I'm not generalizing. Not all senior citizens have issues or need a little extra time, but I do want you to be thinking about, you know, let's say that this person did not have a lot of technology, and you're going to be teaching them how to use some multimedia tool of your choice. I am not going to force choice this, okay? So, but it does need to be a multimedia application. There, something like using the Tumblr blog, or uploading and creating an account and uploading photos to Flickr, up, uploading videos to YouTube. I could go on and on and on and on about the myriad of choices, but I want it to be about multimedia content. So that's the only kind of restriction I have on it. You are welcome to work with a partner. Please email me so that I have an idea of who's going to be working together, or you can work on it on your own. It can be that could be an entire YouTube channel. Caroline, you gotta stop. Okay, anyway, Caroline and I have had class together. Okay, anyway, so it's a really straightforward assignment. You will have to create some supplementary materials, any support materials, like maybe a little brochure, as well as a reflective piece. Again, all of those directions are well outlined in the capstone activity direction. I think I bring that out in week 9, I want to say. So once again, guys, you can look ahead. I encourage you to look ahead. And so go ahead. You don't have to wait till week 9 to begin to look at what your capstone is. So go ahead, get in there and figure out what you're going to do. Figure out if you're going to work with someone, and get her done. That's terrible. All right, I'll pause. I'm tired. Can y'all give me I'll pause now for any questions, or type your question or concern into the chat box. I know that you may not know, it's hard to ask questions about the capstone if you haven't really looked at it. Know that I will hold another meeting mid-course that will be directly addressing just the capstone project. So I certainly understand if you don't have any questions now, but I'll pause now for questions about the capstone. Okay, you guys are easy. You're either really, really tired. I hear a lot of you guys are exhausted, or you guys are just that good. But again, I'll talk about that in a minute. I already have a date picked out that we can come together, and again, it would just be about addressing capstone issues, and I'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, so I want to now get down to the nitty-gritty, and let me be just extremely clear about this. I did my dissertation on the Tpac model, which is technological pedagogical content knowledge, and it's really just a lens through which we look at the practice of teachers when using technology, and I did mine on veteran teachers. So that's a long way to tell you, and I also transitioned my own classroom into a one-to-one laptop classroom. And I just want to be extremely clear. And Caroline is one of those people that definitely keeps me straight on this in terms of let's not always be beating this drum. Listen, when we're thinking about any kind of digital resource, be it a tool, an app, or multimedia, that is not the starting point. We do not start with, I want to use X in my classroom, okay? We always start with the content, or what do we want learners to know? What is it that you want them to know? Then we move over to our pedagogical choice. What's the strategy or method that we're going to use to deliver this content that is best for the diverse learners in my classroom? That could be think, pair, share, KWL, activating prior knowledge, all those kinds of things, whole grouping, small grouping, jigsaw, whatever. So first we think about what we want them to learn, how are we going to, what pedagogical strategy are we going to use to accomplish that, and then, and only then do we consider technology, if at all. Yes, thank you for saying it, Caroline, because yes, you are. You all should look up that phrase, and this is an okay thing. However, here comes, so that I want to be sure, content and pedagogy in the foreground, technology in the background. Now, I understand that a lot of you have had experiences where perhaps some of your teachers in high school, at college, have not done a successful job of integrating technology to directly support student learning, and it was a hot mess. It was an epic fail. I understand that. I also stand by what I just said. However, I do believe that it's our ethical and moral responsibility to find those small spaces of synergy where we can use digital resources, tools, apps, and multimedia as long as they directly support and enhance student learning. Because I do believe that we are preparing our students for jobs that don't even exist yet, and chances are technology to some degree might be involved. At the very minimum, critical thinking, collaboration, and creativity will be part of those. And a lot of times your digital tools get you to those 4 C's. Does everybody understand? Give me a thumbs up if you're all good with kind of where I'm coming from on that. Okay, awesome. So I guess I just want to sum up with this one piece. Again, thank you, Caroline, because Caroline is a Luddite, and I absolutely her and I've had lots of conversations about why that is. But my point here is that all opinions are accepted in my classroom, and I just want to make sure that we're being supportive of each other's approaches and that we're not getting toxic around this idea of technology. It is a big, scary thing, but at the same time, I believe this is one of the most exciting times to be an educator. So I just want to make sure. Can you guys hear me? Okay, sorry about that. Okay, here we go. I'm back. Thought I clicked it, but I didn't. So again, I want to thank Caroline for stepping up and saying that she is a Luddite, because she is. And my larger point here in the context of this course is that all opinions are valued and have the freedom to be expressed in our classroom. However, I do not want there to be toxic conversations around technology. We all have our ideas about when and where it works, what exactly technology is. The goal here is to be thinking about where is the small pieces of synergy where we can actually use digital resources to support student learning. So I just want to be clear about that. All right, so moving on. Again, I want to be honor of your time, and I'm trying to get y'all out of here before I'm trying for 7:45. All right, so the last thing I want to talk about is a lot of you have a lot of collaborative work. You have your discussion board, your discussion leader activity. You can choose to do the final project as a collaborative group, so that's up to you. But in terms of the discussion leaders, I want you to be thinking about what are the ways that you're actually going to be getting a hold of each other. What is your plan for collaboration? Are you guys going to be using Skype? Are you going to be sharing things through Dropbox? Are you guys going to create documents on Google and share those? Are you guys going to do it via email? Oh my gosh, might you pick up the old-fashioned phone? Or might you schedule time to meet each other? Google Hangout, thank you. Absolutely, Megan. Oh my God, Caroline, you were born the year after I graduated high school. Okay, I'm not going to even get started. Okay, yes, Google Hangout is a great idea, but I will caution you guys. One of the reasons I don't do Google Hangout is because for some weird reason, you know how you guys have your Google apps through NC State? You cannot sign up for Google Hangout with your NC State email, and I wasn't going to make you guys create a whole separate Gmail account. How crazy is that? But don't get me started. Okay, my point here is this. You all have to take it upon yourselves to go to the discussion leaders, either go to the forums where I have your names listed, or go back to the sign up and see who it is that you're partnering with and make a plan. And I don't care what you use, but make a plan, because lack of getting a hold of each other is not going to hold a lot of water in terms of getting the assignment done. So just want to make sure that you have those, that's already, I've planted that seed, that's very important, that you be proactive about the mechanism by which you are going to reach out to your partners when the time comes. Okay, any questions, concerns about how you might collaborate with others in this classroom? Negative. All right, I like negative. It's like I was in the military. I was in the military for 7 years, so it's funny. And I was an air traffic controller. So anyway. Okay, here we go. I'm getting tired. I'm trying to get you out of here. Okay, so final thing. If you were to look at my email, and I believe it's also in the syllabus, but if you look at the signature of my email, my Skype name is there. What you want to do is you want to make me or add me as a contact in your Skype account. If you don't have Skype, I highly suggest you get it because it's awesome. It's amazing because if my computer is on, then I am on Skype and you can quickly send me an instant message. And then you could instant message me and say, do you have time to talk? And then I could answer your question. I can also screen share with you. So if you were struggling with something, I could actually show you by sharing my computer screen with you. So it's awesome. So I am always available by email. If you send me an email, I do my very best. I hope that you've noticed to reply as quickly as I can. I'm very attentive to my email. I'm also good. Pick up the phone. You also have my phone number in my email signature. I am totally fine with that. Outside of Skyping me when you need me, calling me when you need me, emailing me when you need me, or Ostina, then please know that I will always be on Skype. Even if I'm on my phone in my car, I will have my Skype on every Wednesday from 3:30 to 5, but you have to make me a contact and get all that stuff straight. As I said earlier, I've already picked this date out, so go ahead and mark this on your calendars and make note of this date, October the 9th, 2012, which is a Tuesday. Will be probably another virtual meeting, but again, it'll be mostly focused all on the capstone. So I'll be taking any questions. And there goes Matt. Matt has already contacted me on Skype. Look at that. He's multitasking as we speak. So again, mark your calendar, October 9th. That will be basically come if you need help. I will probably go ahead and set up a room in the Friday Institute so that you can attend virtually, or if you want to drop in and actually work with me face to face, that will all happen on October the 9th. I will send more details about that when we get closer, but I usually offer a hybrid meeting where I will run the virtual meeting, but you're welcome to come and see me at the Friday Institute and get face-to-face help. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pause and ask for any comments, questions, or concerns. And Ostina, if you had anything to say or share with the group, go ahead and take the mic as well. No worries, Michelle. Good night. Thank you for coming. Sleep well. Good luck tomorrow. First day of school. Yay, everybody. Yay, Michelle. So go ahead and grab the mic or chat in the chat box if you have any final thoughts, questions, or concerns. Ostina, you can grab the mic if you had anything you want to share with the group. Okay, everybody, then that then concludes. No worries, Ashley. Honestly, they're not nearly as clear as I'd like them to be. I want to say that's my final thoughts are, one, know that I had to work with a lot of content that I didn't have a lot of control over. I did the best. This doesn't exactly have my largest thumbprint on a lot of this course material, but I tried to infuse it with some of the things. But I literally had 4 days to get this course ready and going. And so finally, the last thing I want to say is that Perry has already done a nice job of stepping out there. That middle forum that you guys see in the middle is really a great way for us to really become a community of learners. Listen, I don't always have the answers to everything, and so you definitely want to use that middle social forum to share your celebrations, your successes, resources, tips. If you're having a problem, you know, Astina and I, and hopefully everyone in this course, will all check into that forum and we'll all offer our help, applause, celebration as you post in that forum. So please take advantage of that social forum. Please, those of you that are in the Twitter sphere, please be using the hashtag ECI 514. If you're coming across great resources or you just want to share how your day is going or whatever, so that we have that sort of another sort of back channel for our classroom. And I just want to thank you all very much for coming tonight. Thank you for your patience in the start. Thank you for understanding that the content in this course is what it is. I did the best that I could given the short time that I had. And I hope that you all enjoy the course, and I'm here to help you anytime you need it. Thank you all very, very much. Have a good night.